A drone strike damaged a merchant ship in the Indian Ocean, but no casualties have been reported so far, according to two maritime agencies. The vessel is reportedly linked with Israel, raising speculations over rising number of attacks against commercial vessels in light of the continued destruction in the Israel-Hamas war. At least 21 members in the crew are Indian nationals. Meanwhile, the Indian Coast Guard's Dornier maritime surveillance aircraft has established communication with the distressed vessel MV Ruin. Meanwhile, the Indian Navy has dispatched a warship, and the Information Fusion Center Indian Ocean region is providing real-time updates. At the same time, Indian Coast Guard ship ICGS Vikram is moving towards the MV Ruin and shall escort it to Mangalore. So, of course, viewers, this is exactly what has transpired so far. My colleague Brian still with us on the broadcast. Brian, what more details can you share with our viewers on this front?
Only a drone launched from Iran that targeted the chemical tanker Camp Pluto in the very Indian Ocean, according to what the US Department of Defense says. And the vessel, which was flying the Liberia flag, which was owned by another Japanese company and operated by Netherlands entity, was hit approximately 200 nautical miles from the Indian coast at 10 a.m. Local time. And the incident also shows the mounting regional tensions, including introducing a new threat to maritime routes following this Hamas attack on Israel, which happened on October 7th. And the Iranian government, along with allied militant forces in Yemen, also has openly criticized Israel's military actions in Gaza, where thousands of Palestinian citizens have reportedly lost their lives in the ongoing conflict. And even the Pentagon also, the Pentagon statement also revealed that this marks the 7th Iranian attacks on commercial shipping since 2021. And fortunately, there was no casualties from the drone strike, but and even a brief fire on the tanker was swiftly extinguished. But notably, the attack also occurred in proximity to the Indian coast, only 200 nautical miles away. And the vessel also reportedly associated with Israel raises speculations about another surge in attacks on commercial vehicles amid the persistent Israel-Hamas war. And of the crew members aboard MV Camp Pluto, at least 21 are in Dornier maritime surveillance aircraft has also, established communication with the distressed vehicle, emphasizing efforts to, manage and better the situation. And the even Iranian delegation at the United Nations has still yet to, respond to requests for comments regarding this very incident that happened. Yes, Asavri, back to you.
Right, absolutely, Brian. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast and sharing those details with our viewers. But of course, more news coming in now. The Pentagon has claimed that the drone which struck a chemical tanker with around 20 Indian crew on board off the Porbandar coast in Gujarat in the Arabian Sea was fired from Iran. The attack took place at around 10 a.m. local time on 24th December. However, the ensuing fire was extinguished and no casualties were reported. The Pentagon has further emphasized that the U.S. military remains in communication with vessels as it continues towards a destination in India. So, of course, this is what we are learning at the moment as far as this drone strike is concerned. I'm being told that Mr. Sanjeev Srivastava, international affairs expert, joins us on the broadcast this morning. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for speaking to us on NewsX. Now, of course, this is what the Pentagon is claiming. They've said that the drone which struck a chemical tanker with around 20 Indian crew on board in the Arabian Sea was fired from Iran. So, I mean, what do you make of these developments that are coming in?
Well, Saudi, first of all, very good morning to you. Good morning to all the viewers. This incident which has been reported is certainly a matter of concern. This was a Liberia flagged, Japanese owned and Netherlands operated chemical tanker which came under attack from a drone. And as the Pentagon has said that this was launched from Iran. So certainly this shows that this concern about escalation of this conflict is very much there. There are certain state and non-state actors Obviously, Iran and Iran-backed militias, whether Hezbollah or Houthi or other, terrorist organizations which are operating from Iraq and Syria, they are attempting to do something so that this conflict gets escalated into a regional level. And that's what precisely their conspiracy is, that by such escalation, they want to, isolate Israel completely in the Middle East region, and obviously they want to disrupt whatever the regional integration process, peace process, or normalization process to get hampered. So the conspiracy is deep. There is no doubt on that, and that is why it is very important for whether it is Israel or the United States of America or other responsible nations, including India, because this tanker has been stuck near the Indian coast, 200 nautical miles from our coast. So I think we are all responsible nations. So we'll have to be very careful and take preventive action as well at the same time from such those who are responsible must be held accountable. So I think such conspiracies are being hatched by terrorist organizations and the state actors such as Iran, and that must be contained. On the Red Sea, if you see, these Houthi rebels are creating all sorts of problems in the Red Sea region, the shipping movement, and that is another very big concern which has come up before the international community. So I think at one point of time when Israel is fighting against terrorism, that fight must go on, but at the same time, it is also important to keep a very close watch on certain state and non-state actors so that they do not succeed in their design to escalate this entire conflict into regional level. And that is another very important imperative which is there for Israel and US and other responsible nations. So I think this entire war against terrorism is a complex one. Humanitarian crisis has to be addressed. Regional escalation should not be there. That is another imperative. And also the biggest imperative is that Hamas-like terrorist organizations should get a big blow and they must be decimated. So I think that is why entire situation is quite complex, and I'm sure that India or the other nations, including this, if you look at the Pentagon's statement, they are keeping a very close watch on it, and if required, certain actions will also be initiated against those who are responsible for such attacks.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.